Welcome to Camaraderie, a channel where I try to figure out old cameras and everything related to them. And put a hat on because my hair, I don't know what it's doing. Today is going to be kind of a double whammy. We've got not only a presumably awful camera, the Sunpet camera. That's it. That's what it's called. But it's also going to be my first time shooting with roll film. 120 film, medium format film, 120. I think I already said that one. Whatever you want to call it. So let's see. When did... It's expired in August of 2018. So wonderful camera. Expired film. New format. Who knows what's going to happen. Let's go for a little plastic adventure. First of all, I never heard of Sunpet. Second of all, it just doesn't have a model number. The only thing is maybe it's called the number 820. But otherwise it just says Sunpet camera. So it doesn't have a name. I want to know what to call it. I guess I'll just call it the Sunpet from here on out. Could call it the 820, but that's too many syllables. Any info on this camera is really hard to find. Their website doesn't really show much. The only kind of consistent thing I could find is that all of their products are numbered. I found this camera at Goodwill for $1. I really hope I didn't overpay. Got a lovely little box that it came in. There was probably about 20 of these stacked up on a shelf. I picked up 2 of them, ended up returning, or not returning, but just donating it back to Goodwill like a few days later, just because I was like, why did I buy 2 of these? The box, it came in a box, which is awesome, and it also came with a manual, which I'll get to in a second. The Sunpet camera. It says Sunpet camera all over the place. The box design, it's a box. The design on the box has kind of got like a late 70s thing, but I'm going to assume that it was at least in 1980 before this was produced. There's no year on here or on the manual, but I did a little digging into the company, and apparently they changed their name to Sunpet in 1980. So even though the colors are kind of 70s-ish, it's definitely at least from 1980. Otherwise, that's like the only information I could find on Sunpet as a company. They worked with Vivitar at some point, but no, this thing is Sunpet through and through, and I'm excited. Dude, they couldn't even get the printing right. Like the Sunpet, like it's the lines are straight, but like they're not even. Like over here on this side, the lines match up just fine with the design, but then on this side it kind of comes off and goes back in and comes back off again, and it's like that on the. It screams of quality. Terrible quality, perhaps, but quality nonetheless. You can take color or black and white film or pictures. That's good to know. I don't think the camera has anything to do with that, because it doesn't. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's a little manual, looks like. How to load the film. Good to know. How to take pictures. You know, I might actually have to consult this because I've never loaded 120 film, so I'm gonna follow these directions and see where they get me. Diagram of the camera here shows you what's what, and there's nothing on the back. Perfect. All right, so I'll get back to that. Wow, it actually has like a little plastic bag. Ooh. Okay. Oh. Guess there's a strap in there as well. All right, you know what? Let's just go ahead and put this on. Oh, that's a good. Oh, that's a good sign. The strap does work. Has a lens cap, precision lens, f8, 70 millimeter. It's precise, all right. It's precisely terrible feeling. First of all, this thing is really, really light. Ridiculously light. Probably because it's all plastic and, well, the shutter is metal. The shutter release thing is manual, manual. I keep saying manual. Metal. The shutter release is metal. That's good. It's hollow. It just doesn't feel like there's anything in here. There's the focusing ring. I don't even know if this is light tight, man. All right. Yeah, the focus goes from 4 feet to infinity. I'm pretty sure they literally just printed the 8 sideways for the infinity sign. That's good. Moving right along. A little red window back here and the viewfinder up here. Made in Hong Kong. Open, move the lever up. Now, I've never shot with a 120 medium format camera, but this can't be what they all look like inside, man. Okay, so the film take-up spool does work. That's good. I assume you put the film right here. Still see like all of the imprints from where this was like a plastic mold injection or something, and that, I don't know what that, just looks grimy and dumb. Okay, so the shutter does work. That's good. Does it? Oh no. Okay, so that works. And it looks like we've already run into some problems. The shutter got stuck. Or, well, yeah, no, the shutter got stuck open. I don't know how that worked, but it did. So this is the shutter release, right? And all that does is trips a mechanism to let the shutter go across. Unless it gets stuck open like that. Seems fairly reasonable, like maybe there we go. Like maybe a 60th or 1/25th of a second. I don't think it's much slower than that. But why does it keep doing that, man? Alright, so I'm gonna have some issues getting, making sure I don't like quadruple expose this. It looks like it wants to work. Perfect. Let's see. I'd like to get as much of this figured out before I go out and actually shoot with it as I can. Now you're working. I mean, it does seem like... No, there it goes. Gets stuck again. Alright. See if I can get it jammed open. Okay. So, see if there's a way I can reliably... Haha, perfect. Alright. Yeah. So a good bonk on the side is gonna get your shutter all the way back closed. I'm gonna go shoot. Alright, where's that menu? Alright. How to load the film. Place the empty spool in the right chamber. Turn film one. Looks like the empty spool is already in the right chamber. Break film seal. Thread pointed end of film. Into slots. Alright. Oh. Alright. Alright. Unexposed. Alright, cool. What a neat little design. Alright. Let's see here. Put HP5 plus. Break film seal and third pointed end of film. Guess that would be this. Into slot and empty spool. And turn film knob until figure 1 appears in red window in back of camera. The camera is ready now. Cool. Alright. Alright, okay. Okay. Alright. Alright. Let's try this. I guess it goes like this. Is that right? Alright. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Ooh. This is so strange. Alright. Oh, okay. This feels so... is it? Okay. Alright, it's all the way in. That's good. It's tight. Alright. I guess I'll put the cover on right now, I guess. Yeah, open. Ugh. What am I doing? Alright. So it says until the number 1 is in the window. Hey. Is that what that is? I don't know, man. Alright. Okay. Some arrows are going by. Couple dots, 2 dots, bigger dots. What does this mean? All right. Did I put it in upside down? I don't know. We'll figure it out. There's something right there. I'm gonna say that is number 1. All right, well, let's go see how terrible this thing is. Oh, that's nice. That's already like kind of coming apart right there. I don't know, that's about 6-ish feet. Well, let's try it. First picture, let's go. I have no idea what I'm pointing at. And I'm pretty sure hopefully that fixed the aperture or the shutter release. Oh wait, I might need to wind it. Get something to kind of see some shadow detail and some highlights at the same time. Go with 33. I don't know. Is that 33 feet? Sure. Oh yeah. Sure. So just kind of turn it. Start seeing these little dots. And then we should be ready for the next frame. Cool. That's my favorite part about this so far. Wait, I hate not having like any parallax lines or anything. There's nothing that shows me where any kind of focus is, but whatever. Just like that, I'm already 2/3 of the way through this roll. Oh no. No! I think I beat it too much. Oh. Let's see. Alright. I'm half convinced this isn't light tight anyways, so that'll be alright. And let's get back this way. Well, that was shooting with the Sunpet. Got my very first roll of 120 film shot, and well, not done. I'm about to finish it up. Got to get the film out of here first, and then got to develop it and see what came out. I am not optimistic. So, as you see, we've gotten to the 12th frame right there. I've exposed it, and let's see. Let's consult this lovely menu. Menu? It's not a restaurant. It's a camera manual. There we go. How to unload the film. Here goes. All right. Okay. Oh, I think we're getting towards the end of the roll. Okay. Still going. Oh, I think that was the last bit of film. No, the last bit of the paper. There's nothing in there. All right, so this should somehow be light tight. I'm really confused. Oh, look. Gotta put in between lock and open at some point. It's sure. Who cares at this point? Okay. Alright. Got a little... How do we get this out? Oh god, I'm so nervous. Alright. Oh, that is kind of neat. Alright, so earlier it said unexposed and it was white. Now it says it's exposed and it's black, and it already curled itself up nicely for us. So, is there a way? Oh, no, it can't be. Oh, is this like a stamp where you have to lick it? It sure is. All right, well, this is ready for developing. Lovely roll of Ilford HP5 plus 400 ISO 120 film, and it's expired. So, yeah, I'm going to get this loaded into my developing tank, get it developed, and wait for it to dry and scan, and then we'll see what we got. Got my 12 frames all developed and scanned in and loaded into Lightroom. First thing you'll notice right off the bat is that these are not individual frames. I I unfortunately misunderstood my scanner, and I thought it has like a film insert or an insert that goes onto the scanner bed for 120 film, but there's no settings in the scanning software that came with it to recognize 120 film, I guess. So I ended up having to just do away with the insert that they provided and just pop these film strips straight onto the flatbed, which I did not. Wasn't what I was wanting to do, but it is what it is, and I kind of like the look of the full film strip. It almost reminds me of like a contact print or something. But yeah, so that's the first thing you might notice. Second thing you might notice is look over here. You see that I've already done a bunch of adjustments. That's because this is what it came in, what it was scanned in as. I couldn't quite get it straight when I was scanning it, just because, like I said, I couldn't use the film guide and kind of had to. The film was curling up at the edges, which you can actually see right here, that little bit of distortion where it's kind of curving out. That's because the film wasn't able to lay exactly flat. So this is the first one. It's still kind of, I don't get why it looks like this. This was supposed to be just asphalt right here, and here's my shoe, which is black. But even if I flip it, it still doesn't look right. So something is odd here. I'm not sure what's going on with this, because this looks negative, but it also doesn't. I don't know, but I'm not too worried about it. That was just the first picture where I was just trying to make sure the shutter was working and all of that. So moving on, got this FedEx guy going by. Pretty pleased with the shutter speed for the most part, just because I was a little worried about it being too slow. I don't think it's too slow, even with the F8. It did have some pretty decent lighting outside to be able to use an F8, and I do think that it is shooting around the 1/25th of a second mark for the shutter speed, just because this truck was moving. I was not exactly standing still. For the most part, but if it was much slower than a 1/25th, this would be a lot blurrier, and it's still not crisp, but I also didn't have the focus. I had the focus kind of right, I think. I had to kind of do it on the fly, but yeah, moving along. This is just trying to see what the detail is like in between, like if you have a lot of highlights and a lot of shadows going on. And I wonder, maybe, see, this is where I would like to be able to have single frames rather than having the full film strip, just so I don't have to make global adjustments to everything, and I could just work on this one frame. And I could crop it out and do all that, but that's more effort than this set of film deserves, I think. So yeah, let me see if I do that. I'm just looking at this one image right here. So if I pop the highlights, I don't know, it doesn't. All right, let me check the whites. It's really strange because this is reading as a positive, right? Even though it's a negative, it's reading as a positive. So when I flip the tone curve, everything else up here kind of works backwards. If that makes any sense. If it doesn't, you're not alone. Now that I've brought the dehaze back down to 0, maybe I can start kind of. It's so strange working in this kind of workflow. You bring the shadows all the way down and it's super bright, but the highlights don't really seem to be doing too much. the highlight adjustment. Maybe the whites will highlight. Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, about the best. Maybe just bring dehaze up just a little bit. And I mean, you can kind of see. I mean, you can tell that you're looking at trees, but it's not really like super crisp or defined or anything. I just wish it looked better. Oh yeah, edgy. No. All right. Now this actually turned out pretty well, I think. One, it's got the old. I mean, first of all, it's black and white, so it automatically kind of puts a little bit of age on the photo. I was trying to focus on this light right here, or like this kind of quarter panel. Ended up being a little bit further away, but that's fine because I like the detail. You can see the crisp lines in the grill right there. And yeah, just like I was saying, with this camera being what it is, it kind of adds, it has a really, this could take place, this could have been taken anywhere between any time in the last 40 years, really. Just because I mean, maybe if you look at judge by the size of the satellite, maybe you could place it a little bit more recently than, however many years ago. But yeah, I really like this. It's got this nice kind of dreamy quality to the light. Nothing super flashy or anything, even though the sun was shining directly onto it. So yeah, depth of field isn't super shallow, which is to be expected with an f-stop of 8. But I am happy to see that it's got a little bit of blur. The focus does matter. So, but yeah, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Now this frame right here, it slipped my mind that the camera, the Sunpet shoots, like the frame is 6 by 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters, I believe. Yes. Yeah, 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters. So this kind of scene, I was just thinking with my 35 millimeter brain and, flip the camera up on its side. But since it's a square, I didn't need to do that. So we can look at it this way and kind of judge the picture how it should look, how it looked in my head. Let's see, for being a 70 millimeter focal length, so they say, it's it kind of has a wider field than that, and that may just be as a result of having a bigger image, working with a bigger negative. I'm not sure what a 70 millimeter on 120 film, what a 70 millimeter focal length on 120 film translates to as far as working with a 35 millimeter sensor or negative. So when I think 70 millimeter, I'm thinking like, portraits and like just about verging on, the shorter end of like a telephoto lens. So, but you seeing this kind of expansion of space makes to me that reads almost more of a closer to the wide angle side of lenses. So, but we got some little distortions, little weird light refractions and everything over here, and the trees kind of look warped. I'm sure that's just kind of what the purpose of these kinds of cameras are. Diana cameras, toy cameras. Now they're mostly known as like lomography cameras. So it does have this kind of otherworldly sort of like mist and smoke and light refractions and all that kind of stuff going on. So it's kind of cool just to see what it does with pointing into direct sunlight. But this picture, kind of was just looking to see what kind of textural detail and everything that the lens could render. It was interesting because the focus only goes down to 4 feet on the Sunpet. So, and I wasn't sure like what through the viewfinder. There's no parallax lines or anything in the viewfinder. So I wasn't exactly sure where my frame was or how close I could get or if it would be in focus. So I just kind of guessed, and yeah, this worked out pretty good. This is where I was chasing some birds, and this is kind of where things kind of start to go downhill a little bit for this camera, is because I was moving, can't control the shutter speed, and these birds kind of flew off and just kind of get lost in these trees. Like I can't make out a single one. But they're there, I promise you. So, and then this actually kind of almost looks like almost a fisheye quality. Yeah, it's got, I mean, it's purely light refractions around the edges that kind of give it this, it's almost a vignette, it's almost a fisheye sort of feel. It's interesting though. Yeah, I was trying to get some shadow details. And in my mind, again, I was probably shooting around right here just because I was, I had no idea how much magnification was in the viewfinder and what the lens was actually seeing, but it's all right. Now that I know, I'm probably never going to use this camera again just because it seems like a waste of film and chemicals. I'm honestly mostly surprised that it was right after this picture right here that the back of the camera kind of came loose a little bit, and I was worried that everything got ruined or had severe light leaks or something, but it did come loose a little bit, but it looks like the film strip survived, so pretty happy about that. Definitely not upset about it, but I wouldn't have been surprised. Yeah, that's first impressions with the Sunpet. One thing I forgot to do earlier was taking the roll that the film was on when it came out of the box and putting it on here for the the take-up spool for the next roll of film that has the misfortune of being put into the Sunpet. If that happens, I'll be surprised. From what I've done a little bit of research, and from what I understand, that's pretty much how medium format 120 film cameras work in general. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, overall, yeah, this thing again just doesn't inspire confidence. It doesn't produce the greatest results. There's no control over anything except the focus, and even then, to be fair, I'm decently pleased with how accurate it is, but just the fact that there's no parallax lines on the inside, there's just no indicator of what you're getting. Like, I almost want to take another roll out with this and shoot with it, but to me that's just a waste of time and effort, because I mean any number of other cameras would be a better use of my time. So yeah, Sunpet, thank you for not much. Thank you for giving me an excuse to walk around my neighborhood. Thanks for taking my 120 virginity. But you're going to go back in your box and possibly never be seen again. Thanks for watching. Tune in the next time I have a video up. I hope my film gets here next week so that I can actually do the video I was planning to do this week, which is finding out how, basically just doing an experiment on how different variables in the development process affect the outcome of the negatives. So keep an eye out for that sometime next week. Hopefully my film will be here Monday. It just kind of depends on the shipping of everything due to the world ending and all that. So cool. Thank you for watching. Do all that YouTube stuff that you're supposed to do with likes and subscribing and whatnot. Or don't, man. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Till next time.